Yay, welcome everybody. It's so great to have all of you here. This is really a great gathering. And yeah, I'm just excited to share about all of this. And I'll get into the particulars of that so I don't have to say anything further except welcome. And I'm really glad you're here. Uh, I talk about creativity and have been leading these creativity sandboxes. I think most of you are aware that I've done three cohorts of a 3-week program called the Creativity Sandbox, and am gearing up for the Creativity Sandbox Community, which is going to launch the week of September 9th. But the heart of the matter is that it's a joyful experience, and that people have fear about creativity and on and on. But when we're at our most playful, divinity can get serious with us. One of my reference books in this whole subject of creativity and play is Elizabeth Gilbert's Big Magic. And the word inspire has to do with connection with spirit, and I think that creativity is kind of that serious. It helps us when we're playful. We connect with kind of the divine nature of who we are. So, speaking of connecting with our true selves, I want to take a minute and invite you to take a minute just to ground. Turn off your other devices if you can so that you're not distracted, because this is, at least to me, as my, like I said, labor of love, my heart's desire to share creativity and to play with people and to have us all kind of really be more creative and as a result happier. Um, let's take this next 40 minutes or so, at least of my presentation, and I'll happily do Q&A after that. But just ground. And this is a really super simple way to ground. It's called the physiological sigh. And all you do is you take a big inhale, so slow, steady inhale. And then when you get to the top of your lungs, just a little bit more. That's what it calls a double inhale. So take that extra little inhale and then very slowly an extended exhale through your mouth. Very simple, but I'll do it. I'll do it with you because I want to do it too. So we'll take a nice slow inhale all the way to the top. When your lungs get filled, just to suck in a little more air, and then slowly through your mouth, almost not whistling, but as if you were going to slow, slow. Because the important thing to me, what I've learned is when your exhale is longer than your inhale, you tend to release and have less stress. So we'll do it two more times at your own pace. Nice, slow, steady inhale all the way up and fill your lungs just a little more, and then slowly exhale through your mouth. Third and final time. Enjoy. Inhale all the way to the top, a little more. Slow exhale out and let it all go. Thank you again for being here. So, this is my agenda for the day. I am going to invite you all to introduce yourself. I'm going to talk about why AI. What does AI have to do with creativity and that relationship? Um, I'll ask your participation, but I'll do at least a little bit of AI creativity demo. Don't let me forget to do that. Talk about what is creativity, and then how does it lead to happiness and spark joy. And I do have special offers for you at the end if you hang around. So, like I said, this is, I'm going to stop sharing here, but this is an interactive workshop or play shop. I couldn't believe I called it a webinar. I don't do webinars, I do play shops. I did take the slide away, but I'll say it very simply. I want you to say who you are, what your name is. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. I lost my place. Oh, I see what this is, that thing. Um, who you are, where you came from, like where you are in the world, because we have people, at least one person from the continent. Um, how you got here, which I don't really care that much about, to be honest, but because I think I've identified everybody in that way, and then why you're here. But and I want to do it rapid fire. I don't want to take like a big amount of time, but if you could all do that in less than 60 seconds, that would be awesome. And will somebody go first, or do you want me to call on people? I'll unpin myself.
I don't mind going first.
Claire, you're awesome. Go.
Hi, I'm Claire Jacobs. I'm a psychologist in San Antonio, Texas, and I got uh, connected with you through the AI Salon, and I'm a firm believer in and enjoyer of creativity and a definite optimist about AI, and have been my whole world has been opened up with the convergence of AI and creativity, and everything's different now. So thank you for letting me be here and for offering this
Yeah.
play.
Yeah, it's a game changer. And that's part of the fun of all these communities is that we are sharing a passion that some people have and some people don't, apparently. Who's next?
I can go ahead and jump in. So my name is Mary Aranki. I am in Phoenix, Arizona. Apologies for the noise, but I'll be quick. Why am I here? I am generally not a creative in the common sense of the word, and as I'm kind of embarking on this AI journey, I feel like maybe it can untap that kind of creativity. At a minimum, I want to learn about it, and I want to see how I can utilize it. It's so important in a lot of the things that we do, um, and I just want to figure out how I can use it in my world. So I want to learn as much about AI as possible, and this is an aspect of it.
Yeah, and how it can enhance your creativity. Yeah, perfect. Thanks for being here. It's a you're in the right place because that's my experience, and that's kind of why I created this whole Playship shop because AI can spark the creativity and really be. I call it a creativity enhancer. So literally, I'm aligned with what you're talking about. Next, this is great. Keep it going.
I go. Hi, my name's Paul. I'm in the United Kingdom. I work with startups, but specifically curiosity-driven startups. And I'm just interested in curiosity, well, in creativity, therefore, because they're obviously very closely tied and always struggling to get a good curiosity, so creativity, being repetitive, creativity practice going. And I've also been fooling around a bit with AI in that way. So just curious to see what's here.
Fantastic. Welcome. I love that curiosity driven startups. I haven't heard that term before. And what
I'd like
time
to
is
just
it?
add for
What time is it
Paul
in the
really quick.
UK?
It's it's 7:15 in the
All right.
evening.
Thank you for the evening. What did you say, Mary?
Oh, I was going to say, Paul, good to meet you. Keep your eye out. We're going to be hopefully launching at the end of or the beginning of September, and it is about curiosity. It's the Curious Mom. It's we call it the AI Moms. So it's really kind of teaching parents, caregivers, and whatnot how to leverage AI in parenting their children across all facets. I'm a huge AI user, and I think it's going to attract a lot of curious people on how curious caregivers on how they can leverage AI in the rearing of their children from young to like college level.
Cool.
Awesome. We're
So keep an
we're
eye out.
fans of
The AI
creativity
moms.
here. And by the way, the where you registered for this webinar on my Circle site, where the Creativity Sandbox lives, is a community. So please post there. You and Paul can hook up there and talk more about creativity. Completely and curiosity, completely relevant. Okay, who hasn't gone yet? Please dive in.
I'll go.
Okay, Bond.
Yeah, hi, I'm Bond. I'm out here in the San Francisco Bay Area. I got introduced to AI basically through John, through this Playshop thing. And we had been acquaintances. And I just really am intrigued by the potential of learning how to be creative with this tool. Uh, you know, for me right now, the biggest problem is, getting a workflow that involves some specific software and just sticking with it. Because, every day John puts something online. Oh man, I've been trying Ideogram. It's fantastic. And oh my God, now I got to go look at Ideogram. So anyway, I'm happy to be here, and it's a nice community.
Yeah,
Thanks.
great. Thanks for being here again, Bond. And yeah, that's kind of part of the idea of the ongoing community is be able to support people like Bond in a process and figuring out unique solutions around AI and video. Speaking of which, Matthew, you're a video guy, right?
Not really. I've played around with it. Uh, I've helped a buddy make videos. I don't think we've
Okay.
used AI, but uh, basically, I've done like kind of electromechanical work for most of my career, and I went back to school a couple of years back, uh, and I found myself just getting more into the creative thing, like digital media and Photoshop and all that stuff. So I don't really know what I want to be when I grow up, but um,
And where are you geographically?
I'm in California, in Southern California.
Okay. And we met
Uh,
through AI Surfer, right? The AI Surfer
AI
community.
surfer,
Yeah.
and I also came across Ideogram because of you. So uh,
I
and
should
gave
get a
it a try.
commission.
You should.
Yeah, well,
Um,
we'll see how that all takes out. But that's not anyway. That's a whole other business model conversation. Thank you. Anything else that you wanted to throw in, or welcome? I'm
well,
glad you're here.
well, I guess I have done. I mean, I'm not a writer, but in writing stuff, I found AI is great to get you started. So when you're like staring at that blank screen or page or whatever, and you know, you just stick an ID on, it'll like write a whole paper for you or whatever, but basically something that gets you started gives you an idea.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a thought partner, and there's an element called ideation, which is a word I've only started using because of AI. But that's super. It's one of AI's superpowers. I think is just to like spark the conversation. I say it over and over again, but I'll say it again, which is that you can't take the AI output just like verbatim. You always want to be the human in the loop. It's a co-intelligence. There's a guy named Ethan Malik has a book called Co-Intelligence, and I've adopted that phrase because it really is a collaborative thing. It is not this thing out there that you put in the quarter and you get out your output, and that's the output done deal. It's an iterative process, and you want to play and collaborate. Great. Matthew, great to meet you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Let's see who hasn't gone. Daryl? There
Hey.
you go.
So I'm here with my cool uncle, who's always been like the tech guru amongst other things, and I think so. I'm happy to be here because of that. And then in terms of creativity and humanizing creativity, the use of technology, humanizing the use of technology and combining it with creativity is I think so important. I have like mixed feelings about engaging with more technology because I feel like just like the way I work on the computer all day. I work in managed care. I'm in Woodland Hills, California, and I'm a therapist. But I used to be an art therapist, so that's part of what drew me back here too, is because I trying to infuse that back into my work life, and then also to um, have like make play and creativity an ongoing part of my life because I love art and creativity and somebody said curiosity, um, and then integrating it all the different interests, with the psychology and art and technology light.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got a lot of great threads there, but I like just having that creative practice be an ongoing thing. That's part of the framework for the sandbox. I can't tell you how delighted I am that you're here, so I'll just say that. And Natasha, you joined us a little bit late, but you're here. I think you're the only person, unless I'm not seeing anybody that hasn't introduced themselves. Would you do that?
Yeah, hi. So I'm Natasha. So yes, I sorry I came in late. I couldn't find the email with the link and I was working. So I'm taking my lunch break now to be here with you guys. Hey, you talk about creativity, curiosity. I am the most curious person ever. I am creative every single day. I put my books on my little shelf here. So these are my two books. I have two international best-selling books. Actually, it's four. This is
Nice.
just two of them. And so I've done it all. I've books, journals, screenplays, created reality TV shows. I am not afraid to step out and do something I've never done before, especially if it's in the creative realm. And I've been working with AI for almost 2 years now. As soon as it was launched to the public, I think I found out about it December 2022.
Right.
Yeah, 2022. And so I was like, what is this thing? And I'm not even a techie person. I'm a forensic accountant by trade, but I've always been creative. And that was my creative outlook for my profession because in accounting, you can't really be creative. Well, you can, then you go to prison. But creative accounting gets you thrown in jail. But so that was my creative outlet. I always felt misplaced. And so now I've been working in that for over 20 years. I said, I want to transition. I always had a side hustle and some kind of creative outlet. Like I said, I sold movies and created TV shows and everything. And I was like, this AI thing, I am on it. And in school, that's how we met.
In school, the school from AI Surfer, you froze for a second here. Uh-oh. Natasha, you're frozen. So hopefully we didn't lose her. But school, so some of you may not know, SKOOL is another community platform like Circle. Natasha, we lost you. Sorry to say. But anyway, welcome and glad you're here. Hopefully we'll get her video back and hopefully she's still there. So welcome everybody again. Thank you for introducing yourselves and it's wonderful to see the mix of people that we have and it's wonderful. Thank you again for being here. So diving in, we have done the agenda and we have done that. I'm going to go into slideshow mode. So my North Star is just so kind of to give you why I'm here.
Jon, I'm sorry. I'm going to interrupt you, and I hope it's okay, but I think you forgot Marius, or I'm
Did we
having
miss?
a kind of a memory lapse myself.
Man, no, I thank you. Marius, where are you? Let's have you introduce.
Okay, hi everybody. I'm Marius, and
Now I gotta call you. I gotta call you out, man. It's like I think I did say who else didn't do it, and you and I are talking about showing your face, so I just have to say this is like
yeah.
perfect.
Well, I'm in Los Angeles, and I got connected through AI Surfer and AI for creativity. Is that the other part that we're just saying?
AI,
It,
AI creativity and happiness is why we're here.
yeah. Well, it's like it. I use it a lot. It and it's kind of like directing my life in a lot of ways. And through the result of it, I'm finding a lot of balance, and that brings a level of happiness that I didn't even expect because I came from like post-production world working in television, and those are like 10 to 12-hour days. Sometimes it could be 17 hours, depending on where you are in the flow of the project. But this is like I seem to get a lot more done. I've become much more creative and I seem to be developing a good work-life balance.
Hmm.
It's becoming really essential for me, and that's really great.
So that's a great testimony.
Yeah.
I would love to hear you. Anyway, we'll talk more about that, and I know you and I are going to continue to stay connected and Paul, thank you so much for interrupting and making sure. Is there anybody else that didn't get to say? But Marius, thank you so much for that. And we got a lot more to talk about. I want to get into the presentation here where it's already 25 after the hour. Everybody else got to introduce, right? All right. I'll go back to the presentation. Thank you. Still learning after all these years. So quickly, my North Stars are, in 1990, I came up with this phrase, spanning the Grand Canyon gap between people and technology. And there's a learning component, but there's also now, even more than ever, this human component. Like I said before, the human in the loop. So the technology and people is where this creativity thing emerges from. And as I'm sure all of you have experienced in one level or another, people are afraid of AI. People have reservations about being more creative and building the creativity into their flow of their life, like Daryl and I were talking about briefly there. And so I came up with this idea of the creativity sandbox out of wanting to do online courses and build online community, but recognizing I always thought I would do something that would lead into my creative services businesses. So I'm not going to get into my whole bio, but I've been self-employed now coming up on 40 years. I founded my own company in New York in 1985. And when I moved back to California in 1990, that's when I recognized this educational component around spanning the Grand Canyon Gap. And when I looked at doing online courses, I thought I would do something around video technology in particular, because that's been my bread and butter, both marketing services and video. And I realized that I was much more passionate about this creativity and helping people to really embrace, to awaken their creativity and then embrace a practice and have a community of support so that they could do it on an ongoing basis. And so that gave birth to the second North Star, which is don't die with your creative sparks still stuck inside, because I think that there, in particular, are people, I say 50 years old and above, who have a creative spark, who want to be more creative, but aren't doing it. So that's how I ended up here with the Creativity Sandbox. So today we're talking about the connection between AI, creativity, and happiness. I'm going to show you a little bit about how this image came to be. And I worked with multiple AI platforms before I ultimately rendered this in the app that we've already mentioned, Ideogram. But we have this childlike curiosity, as we've been talking about, and this ability to explore creatively that AI can help ignite and give us a way to have it come out. And the important thing is, whether you're using technology or not, to play creatively and have that soul nurturing experience. So that's kind of like the overview. So let me walk through the three different areas: AI, creativity, and happiness, and how I think they go together. And then I'm going to have time for Q&A and discussion and whatever you all would like to do with the rest of the time. But AI, first of all, is not one thing. In my experience with technology, I go back to like when digital video was new, and I saw this first horrible quality, grainy little postage stamp of a video when QuickTime first got invented. And I knew that it was going to change everything. But then digital video became YouTube, became TikTok, became corporate media, became, we could go on and on with all the forms of digital video. And then the web came and people talk about the web. What is the web? So the web is also a million different things. And AI, likewise, is a million different things. It's not one thing. It's like all these apps that Bond mentioned. But what it doesn't do is replace humanity. I think that there's a lot of energy wasted on this conversation about artificial general intelligence. And when does AI become, more human than a human? That isn't going to happen. AI is always going to be not human, but it has human-like qualities. It is creative, right? I can put any random phrase into an app like Ideogram or other graphics programs, and it will creatively come up with ideas. So in that sense, it is creative. But there's a human creativity that we all have inside us that like I said before, I think is a soulful thing. And AI will never have that. So we have a responsibility to kind of make AI what we want it to be. What's our vision of a future that's AI enabled, so that AI can help us in some ways be more human, right? AI can fake empathy, but it will never be truly empathetic because it doesn't have the human experience. It only has a version of human experience. So I hope that's useful. And in the same sense, AI is also a reflection of human intelligence, because they've taken all this data and it is being intelligent. There's no question it's remarkably intelligent, but there's a human ability to put things together in an intelligent way that I don't think AI can do. So, but it is this enhancer, like we said, this ideation, this collaborator. I love collaborating, and AI is a great collaborator. So that's where I think the empowerment comes from in terms of creativity, is that AI can help with ideas. We never have to look at a blank canvas again. We can put, like I said, a random phrase or an idea where you want to go into one of the AI graphic engines, and then iterate from there, and iterate and iterate and iterate and experiment and play. And what about if we do that? And that's where things move. So I told you in the email that part of what I do in the play shop, and what in play shops in general, and in the creativity sandbox specifically, is provide quickie journaling prompts. So hopefully everybody has either a piece of paper, a journal, a notebook, a digital document. And the way that this works is, and you all hopefully have had some experience of what a free write is. But if you haven't done a free write before, that's what this is. It's 3 minutes. So it gives you the ability to just kind of let ideas flow. No self-judgment allowed. That's the only thing that's verboten. Everything else is okay. Just let the ideas come out, and and write freely for 3 minutes. So it's a very manageable time, but it gives you the ability to reflect and kind of like expand on the ideas about why you're here. So is that any questions about that? Feel free to unmute if you have a question. But basically, I'm going to have a 3-minute timer, as you can see there. And the question for the moment is, what is your flavor of human creativity? So creativity, like I said, is a uniquely human component, and each of us is completely different. And so it's your flavor of creativity that I want to help spark, help support as an ongoing practice. So any questions, or we'll just dive right in and do this? Okay, no questions. So 3-minute free write on what is your particular personal flavor of human creativity. 15 seconds. And that's time. So, in the interest of time, maybe one or two quick shares about how that was. If you saw something you didn't see before, I got reminded about my childlike exuberance and how much I like to play. I think that's definitely part of my personal creative mojo. Anybody else want to say anything about what they saw, what they discovered in that writing? Just, yeah, Bond, go ahead.
Yeah, it was really simple. It took me about a minute to get into it. And then it occurred to me that, my take on human creativity, my particular flavor, to make something from nothing. And that's sort of the way I approach creativity. I mean, something exists, you look at it, make something out of it that wasn't there when you first found it. So that's
good. That's fun, right?
Yeah, and I just had a great creative jolt while we were doing this based on a transcript of a support call with Best Buy. So stay tuned.
Okay, great. Thank you. Somebody else?
Yeah, I kind of had I think, a cool thought when I was going through this, and something that stood out to me was because you were asking about what is our flavor, right?
Yep.
And I think, amongst other things, our flavor is inspired by other people's flavors. So I thought was interesting, and I think that's something, as you were saying, through AI might be difficult or easy, I guess. I think it's finding inspiration amongst the endless amount of flavors out in the world.
Definitely. Actually, that gives me an opening to share. If there's, let's see, somebody's on the chat. Am I? Oh, Paul's got to jump off. It's okay. Um, so yeah, I mean, one of the things that is true with a lot of the apps. Let's see, what did I just share? Am I sharing my whole screen? Oh, I think I have I always forget about this thing. You guys are seeing my browser, right? Or not? I'm gonna share again.
Yes.
Yes, you were?
Yeah, I was seeing it.
Okay, we're back. Yeah, I mean, if I jump over into ideogram, which I think I have open in a tab, maybe I don't. I can get there quickly. I got two pies. Um, they start as soon as you sign into ideogram with a gallery, and you could decide that I like owls. So let's say I wanted to experiment with owls. Here, I not only have this artistic style, I have the entire prompt that was used to generate that image, and I can remix it and so forth. But just kind of picking up on your idea there, it's very easy to use AI to collaborate, and also, um, I share images that you create, share it both in a local community like we do in AI Surfer, or on social media, etc. So yeah, there's lots of opportunities like that. I'm going to move on just in the interest of time, and anytime somebody has like a burning desire to share, feel free to jump in, just like Paul did earlier. So the second part of this is creativity, and I think this thread is already coming out that people think about creativity as being the arts, or I don't have the talent to be creative, and that's not what it is. It's actually something that um, we've had since childhood. In fact, one of the things that came to me when I was starting the Creativity Sandbox was a meditation. I'm not going to take the time to do it right now, but just reflecting back on what it was like when you were a kid, me reflecting back when I was a kid, and the way we all played. For those of us who have children, the way we've seen our kids play at 2 years old, at 3 years old, at 5 years old, where there's like this kind of freedom to just play without judgment. That I always have the image of myself finger painting with this kind of, the freedom of that. And I think that that ability to play, to experiment, to explore without judgment is really what creativity is about. And you may have seen this video in one of my emails, but I've watched it several times, and I think it's worth doing again because John Cleese from Monty Python explains that spirit of what is creativity. So I did share the sound. Let me know if you don't hear the sound. I think you will.
Nothing will stop you being creative so effectively as the fear of making a mistake. Creativity is not a talent. It is not a talent. It is a way of operating, an ability to play. To play is experiment. What happens if I do this? What would happen if we did that? What if? The very essence of playfulness is an openness to anything that may happen, a feeling that whatever happens, it's okay. So you cannot be playful if you're frightened that moving in some direction will be wrong, something you shouldn't have done. I mean, you're either free to play or you're not. So the best way to get the confidence to do that is to know that while you're being creative, nothing is wrong.
Boy, that's like, it's just such an important message. So, I talked about, so one of the things that I do, I'm just going to do, this is the quick little demo part that I talked about, is that I play and then I iterate and then I play, and there's nothing wrong. It's just kind of like an evolution of ideas. So these are all different. These are iterations that led me to create that kind of transformational image that I showed you at the beginning of the Playshop. And I think it goes back even to here. And the original prompt was basically the feeling of letting go of fear and self-doubt in order to give yourself permission to play creatively. And these were the first 4 different images that Ideogram gave me. I went with this one and then iterated and iterated and iterated through these different versions. But what I want to show you is this is a hack. This is a Jon Leland hack that I've been meaning to make a video, but I don't think that I've done it. Because what I do, so getting towards the final versions, and actually I think I went beyond an earlier one with the one that I actually selected. But one of the things that Ideogram does that I love, so it got expanded from that initial prompt and builds it out into a magic prompt, which if you hit remix, you get the magic prompt and you can edit it and customize it, as well as giving weight to the previous version that you liked. But my hack is that I go over into Midjourney. So this is the web version of Midjourney. And I actually fed in the magic prompt and got this is the magic prompt, which I've just pasted over, and got a completely different kind of version of that transformation or creativity sandbox. You see that Midjourney kind of renders with the finer detail, but it's interesting the way that Ideogram actually is a little bit more conceptual, and I got a more illustrative version. But this is how I play with images and with ideas, and I love jumping back and forth between different applications. So that's my quick little demo. And given that it's 45, let me just walk through the rest of what I have for you here. I have one more writing exercise, and then we'll do Q&A, and I'm willing to hang out as long as people want to hang out. So the other part of it, in terms of segueing from creativity into happiness, is that it's not about being good at creativity, right? It's not about the talent. It's about creativity being good for you. And this is another reference that I recommend, The Art of You by James McCrae. That element of when you play with creativity, your life gets better. do the self promotion of playing the testimonial from Will, who was another participant in the Creativity Sandbox programs. But he talked about how making a practice using the structure of the Creativity Sandbox to do his guitar. That's what he's a guitar player and a songwriter who now has more of a musical practice as a result of working in the sandbox. It not only made his creativity better, it made his whole life better because he was happier. That's essentially what he says. Another person who is a big creativity guru, if you will, is this guy, Rick Rubin. Rick Rubin is a legendary record producer who's worked with many superstars, really, in the music business. And this is a longer clip. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but right at the beginning, he talks about this idea of when you're creative, your whole life gets better.
If you want to live in a creative way, which will benefit everything in your life,
that's it.
What makes it great is the personal.
Yeah.
With all of its imperfections, with all of its quirkiness, that's what makes it great. How you see the world, that's different from how everyone else sees the world. That's why you're an artist. That's your purpose in sharing your work with the world.
So this goes on, but it's like, just like in that writing exercise earlier, it's your personal flavor of creativity that, believe it or not, is really worth sharing.
If you want to live in a creative way, which will benefit.
Sorry. So that's really kind of the bottom line here. And so for me, that kind of happiness gets brewed up through this sandbox framework. And I'm going to do actually a mini course on this, and a free mini course, because this is the structure that I've found that leads creativity into happiness, or into joy, as I put into the middle of this diagram. It's the willingness to play, like John Cleese said. It's that ability to give yourself permission, if you will, to just dare to suck, to have happy accidents, to have fun, not have it be about the result. And then to participate in community so that you get encouragement, so that you have accountability, that then it gives you the power, if you will, to cultivate a practice. And that's a kind of building the muscle, putting in the reps, embracing the fact that it's a journey that results in the joy. So this is the framework that I've been evolving and developing. In fact, I want to show you a new version of it, which is still kind of in the works. I've abandoned this term exploratorium just because I just like Creativity Sandbox. So this is a new version of it. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I've added in a component. So the creative chutzpah or play, the developing a practice, and the building a community of support are the three circles from the previous framework. But I added in cultivate your humanity, because I think that human in the loop and being more human, being more yourself, is actually an essential component. But I also have added in that AI is a creativity enhancer that gives you more opportunities to play. And video, and this idea of showing your face, helps you amplify. And when you share something, there's an alchemy that happens. There's a new element that happens. So that the last writing exercise that I want to do is to have you look at your future and your personal expression of joyous creative freedom. I'm hoping that something got sparked here today, just in this short period of time that we've been together. But so free write, right? Whatever comes up, there's no wrong answers. There are no wrong answers when you're doing a free write. What comes up for you when you look at your vision and your commitment for yourself for the future creative you as you evolve over time? Okay, any questions? 3 minutes, free write. Grab your typewriter or your keyboard or your pen or your whatever, and write whatever comes up for you about your vision and commitment for the future of creative you. 5 seconds. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, man.
Where's the gong, Jon?
Oh, yeah. I used to have the gong on the sandbox. I'll have to get that back. Thanks for reminding me, Bond. Uh, Anybody have anything they want to share out of that one?
Sure.
Okay.
So on the first exercise I wrote, my flavor on human creativity was making something from nothing. And then I wrote just now, well, not exactly actually, because you will never be in a space of nothingness. There's energy, there's air, there's light, dark, but never nothing. So you grab at that non-nothingness and add it to your something. And that will be the future me, creative alchemist.
Lovely.
There you
Sounds
go.
like fun and joy to me.
Yeah. That's why I showed up,
Yeah. Well done, Bond. Thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
I think, are you raising your hand, Claire? You have to unmute. There you
Yeah,
go.
sorry.
Perfect.
I wasn't, but I'm happy to share. I think one of the things that I realized again, writing this was that I really let fear of like, but I don't know how to do that. And um, fear of how to use a particular tool or how to, like when we're talking about AI, I have a story written in AI on my phone, but I don't know how to get it off my phone onto my laptop so that then I can take it from my laptop and put it into some other format that then I can share with the world, or whatever my goal is. And so just looking for, just recognizing that that's a pattern that I have and that it's something I want to address.
Cool. I honor that commitment. I hear you. So we're running out of time. Go ahead, Mary. Do you want to go or?
It's up to you. If there's no time, that's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's up to you. If there's no time, that's okay.
Okay. So I mean, we're just coming up on the hour, and I want to respect that I said this was an hour. Let's see. I have to remove the and you're yeah. Thanks for muting. Where's there's remove the pin. And I'll pin me for fun. So the offer that I wanted to make you all, just if anybody's interested, I did a 3-hour play shop with Kyle Shannon, the co-founder of the AI Salon, one of the communities we've been talking about, which we sell on the Play Shop website for $99. It's a 3-hour play shop and includes a demo by Kelly Bosch about how she uses Midjourney and Runway to create her amazing images. If you haven't followed Kelly on social media, I think you might want to. She's a beautiful artist. But anyway, Kyle and I structured a whole 3-hour play shop around creativity. And it's like I said, it's $99. If anybody wants it for half price, for $49, I'm happy to do that. I didn't get to making the code, so just contact me directly. And as a participant here, you're entitled to that discount. And I'll be in touch with you about the Play Shop community, the Creativity Sandbox community, rather. Like I said, that's coming up in September. If anybody has any questions and wants to talk one-to-one about that, I'm happy to have a one-to-one conversation with any of you to talk about Creativity Sandbox. So with that, and Mary or anybody else that has questions, comments, I'm happy to hang out. And if you need to jump off, it's all love and I will not take it personally. Any questions, comments, feedback, or whatevs?
Yeah, I'll say something. I'm just really, as I was the first time I came to one of these events, it's really inspirational and it puts me in a different place for an hour than where I usually am, which is right now in my car, but I didn't plan that.
Yeah,
But
well,
yeah,
keep
so I
going,
appreciate
Bond.
it, Jon. Yeah, appreciate it.
I'm
I'm
so
gonna
glad
go.
you're here. Yeah.
Yep,
All right.
thanks.
Good luck with your car.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else?
So yeah, this is very enlightful. So especially in the middle of my day. Do you do these on a regular basis or this is just a one-off?
Uh, I've not been doing them on a regular basis, but I think I
Okay.
will be doing them on a regular basis. I mean, part of the Creativity Sandbox community for the members is that there is a Zoom call every week. That's
Okay.
kind of one of the foundational elements of what the Creativity Sandbox is. But I'm also going to be doing more lives, and I'm going to do another one next Friday, actually. Thanks for asking. Although obviously you'll get an email. I just want to check the time. That one's at 10, so it's an hour earlier with Michael
Mm-hmm.
Cass, who's a remarkable storytelling authority. And he doesn't work, it's not storytelling like a structure, act one, act two, act three kind of
Mm-hmm.
storytelling, but is more like how do you tell an authentic story? I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if I have a hard time talking about Michael's work, but I love his work and him. He's actually been on my Video Mojo podcast, I think, 4 times. So he's kind of a kindred spirit, definitely gets what we're talking about here today, and has a lot to offer in his his methodology for storytelling. I guess I could say from the inside out. And
Is he a filmmaker or a novelist? What's his medium? I
I
mean,
would say more of a consultant. He just worked yesterday with the head of a theater company about that guy's vision for the theater company. I don't want to say the name out of
mm-hmm.
confidentiality.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but one of the other things that he has going on, and part of the reason that I set it up to do him with this month, is he took all of his career in storytelling consulting, for lack of a better term, and put it into an online course which he's selling this month for only $29. It's like 4 hours of video, and I'm planning to go through it myself, but it's that offer is available now, but we'll talk about it a little bit more, and you'll certainly get more of an experience of what he does and how he does it next
Mm-hmm.
week if you can make it on Friday. I haven't even put up the landing page for that yet, but I
Okay. Is
will.
it 10 a.m. on Friday? Okay, I'll see.
Yeah,
I'll see. Oh
yeah.
yeah, that's very interesting. No, I'm all about. I've been creative my whole life. So, and I would just say, share one thing when you said about what the future, the creativity. You know what I said? I'm not going to. I took the wheels off, or the handcuffs, I should say, the handcuffs, both the handcuffs and the wheels, the handcuffs off to stop me from limiting myself or my own creativity, thinking like, okay, what am I gonna do with this? No judgment. I don't. Maybe I would do nothing. Maybe it's just for that day, for that hour, for that minute. I before it was always if I was creating something, it was for a purpose, for a reason, but it doesn't have to be. It could just be to release or just to relax, right? So I took the
Just to
handcuffs
play.
off and let it flow. Yes, just to
Yeah.
perfect, just to play. And I took the wheels off so I won't be limiting what I'm doing because you never know. Just like the one thing I said last night in the school, I said, "Oh, this there," and then I find out I can't do it because the technology isn't there yet.
Mm-hmm.
But it's in the back of my head because you never know. In a month, it may be. It may be. So I'm not going to negate these ideas. I'm just going to write them down. And some might be for today, some might be for tomorrow or a year from now, or who knows when, you know. But so I'm going to stop doing it. I have done it to myself for years. And then 5 years later, I'm like, started that like 5 years ago. I never did anything because I said, who am I to want to do this? No, handcuffs are off and the wheels are off. That's all I'm going to
Beautiful.
say about this. And I'm just
I
going to
love.
go for it. All I can do is go for it. If nothing
I'm
happened, at least I
I'm
had fun trying. I
I'm
had fun
so
trying.
glad we got connected, and yeah, and we're going to actually meet up in person. It's one of a fun thing that happens is I guess we're all AI surfer here now. Um,
Yep.
I met Natasha through the map. Dallas has been doing that thing with the map for school, and I went on there to see who was in the Bay Area, and I saw that Natasha's in Vallejo, which is just across
Yep.
the bay from me, and I'm going over to Vallejo to play golf tomorrow, and so we're going to meet up actually as a result of the AI Surfer map.
Yep. Yep. Perfect. Can't wait. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a enlightening conversation.
Yeah, I want to hear more about your books too. All right, who else? Either of you guys have something that you want to say, share, or ask?
Is that
Kind of stuck on what to say because this whole thing has been, well, this session has been really great, but my experience of joining the AI surfer has been even better because it has gotten me out of my shell. Not only am I learning a lot and applying a lot, but the missing component, I was always isolated. And now being a part of community has allowed me to really spark and get in front of who I am. And I notice the things that I'm walking through are the barriers that was placed in my life at a very early age. So I feel like I'm unlearning how I was trained between the years 1 and 7 in order to have a life that can be fulfilling. I was very surprised at the things that I wrote in that exercise that you gave us. It was like, where's this coming from? You
Mm-hmm.
know, and like stepping out and challenging myself to create this magazine. It has sparked so many other ideas. Like once I get that going, I've always wanted to do my own media company. I have the skills to do it. And you know what? I can do it. That's
Yes, you
the thing
can.
I'm hearing on the inside is I'm the one that stops me. It's like someone may never get what I have to say, but then there is someone that will. But the best part is that I wake up and I'm excited to be alive. I wake up and I'm excited to go and be at my computer. I wake up and I'm excited to talk with my avatar and plan out my day. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah, I do.
a whole new, fresh perspective on my otherwise limited view of myself. The other day, I had an experience where I was like trying to get something done, and I typed in, like, oh, I'm frustrated. And then it was like, well, here's the thing. Maybe it's like you've done a lot, and those things are all really great. And maybe you're trying to do too much. I mean, it's just interacting with AI in this way has gotten me to see things that are invisible. In my flesh, I can only see what's in front of me, even though it starts in my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I can see how this conversation and this interaction that we're all having is going to affect you. But I know that it may lead to some spark of inspiration. And if not, it has done that for me. So it's valuable.
exactly. Yeah.
And it's teaching me on a deeper level how much each person's life has meaning. And I'm like, wow, I never thought like this before.
Wow. That's so much rich stuff there, Marius. I have to say that, like, I mean, I have, like, I don't know, too many things to say, but it's like, that's really beautiful and powerful. I mean, one, I have to say personally that I love that you saw things through the writing exercise that you hadn't seen before. I would
Yeah.
really encourage you to dig in more to that. And because there's a lot there, but everything that you said is just so rich. Yeah, another thing is I heard someone say a few years ago, isolation is the meta disease.
Yeah.
It's like there is, it is, and there's, as the Surgeon General of the United States says, loneliness is an epidemic.
Right.
And by using community and bringing yourself out with the AI conversations, I guess the last thing I want to offer is, have you used Pi? I'm curious which AI you're having those conversations about planning your day and so forth.
Oh, you know
But
what I did? The Dominique, who was gave one of the talks on the Wednesday call, she did the human design thing,
oh
and I
yeah,
was talking to Tasha about it. But I just did that simple little chart and I put it in, and then it gave me information. And I always was wondering, why does this happen in my life? Like I'll get going and then something will happen. And it said, oh, well, here's potentially why you're a manifester and you're a martyr. And they broke it down like you learn through doing. That's
I
in
see.
your
Oh, yeah. So you put it into her custom GPT. That's a human design GPT, right?
the human that gave me the chart. And it did, and it offered like the 200 pages, but I couldn't get that. I just used a simple thing and it broke it down. And then from there, I put it into Merlin, and that's how I got the other information. And then I was like, well, can I create an avatar that can help me with this? So we ended up going through and
I don't
creating.
even know Merlin.
It's very similar to ChatGPT and
Yeah,
Poe and
that,
all.
and I just want to. I'm going to share really quickly because I noticed that I had tabs open, but I use this one Pi,
Uh-huh.
And I mean they have it, but I've had big long conversations with Pi about business ideas, about personal issues, about it's more conversational,
Right.
and it is one of the more pi.ai.
Okay.
Yeah,
Pi
he's
like to
using his
Greek letter.
customized GPT. He started with that one, but now he's building his own customized agent. Like I have Sky, he has Alex.
Yeah.
So I use Pi too, but I don't really use Pi that much because I have, it's personally customized. So Pi is good though. You can put a knowledge base a little bit, but to get the full value, you need to fully have a customizable one where you can add all the documents. That's what we went through the other day, and I showed him how to upload that chart that he got
Yeah.
into the knowledge base. So when he created his own Alex, is his own personalized one. It's not a generic one like Pi or ChatGPT. It's a customized avatar.
Yeah, and
Right.
it's based
And
off of my human design chart, so it knows things. It can see things that I can't fully. I mean, I can know that they're there, but I can't really comprehend as to why or how they got there. It's pretty amazing.
yeah,
So,
and Natasha, I'm with you. I need to work more on custom GPTs, and I know the basics, but I haven't really done much of it. So I need to
I can walk
exercise
you
that
through it.
muscle.
It's
Yeah, and
easy. And then
I
you
think
you'll
I know
never
what
use
I
another one
know what I'm
again.
doing, but I'd be happy to get that coaching from you. That'd be great.
Yeah, I did it with Mary, but you tell him, was it good that when I walked you through it?
I was like, it was so good. I was like, oh my gosh. I thought like I was happy with what I had done. However, I have to keep a long thread. But this way is so much better. It's almost like creating your own personal Jarvis.
Yeah,
That's how
yeah,
I
it's
think.
cool.
Yeah.
And Matthew, anything
I
you want to
gotta run,
ask
guys.
or
I gotta get
add?
back to work, but
Okay, get back to work
I'll see you guys next Friday, hopefully. And John, I see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow.
tomorrow. Yeah, I
Yes.
look forward to it.
Okay.
Well, my brain's going in like a million directions, but uh, like I went back to school. It's like 7, 8 years ago now, and I've just kind of been going. But I started out, you have to pick a major, right? So I picked a nursing major. And I figured, well, that pays pretty good, and you get to help people and stuff. And so that made it like me really super focused and trying to get A's in all the classes and stuff. And then a couple years ago, I was like, I don't want to do that, but I had all the general ed done, so it was good for that focus thing and sticking with it or whatever. And so I switched over to digital media and learned like Photoshop and Illustrator and all those kind of things. Um, the video editing stuff is just something I do uh, here and there, just playing around. So I'm not really not really a video editor. And then in this area, I met well, it was one of my friends from school, and um, he's really jumped into the AI thing, and so he's trying to make a design brand, and he um, he's finishing his bachelor's or whatever. So I like trying to help him out, and I have another friend that's doing his design brand, just things like that. Uh, but like I said, I haven't decided what I want to do when I grow up, but I am having fun and
That's
uh,
it. Keep
getting
having
more
fun.
creative. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's almost like a cliche these days, but it's still true, which is keep going. It's like that's what I'm finding. And that part of what I was writing, to be completely candid, is like, this is fun for me. I love doing this thing today. I really appreciate you guys being here and anybody that's watching the recording later and all the other people who were here earlier. It's like it's kind of a dream for me because I love sharing this kind of stuff, as you can tell. I hope it's fun for me. Like I'm playing, this is all a big experiment. The community is an experiment, but it seems to be working. That's what I learned through those 3 cohorts of the Creativity Sandbox. The framework has validity. People had really powerful, life-changing experiences. So I love that opportunity to be part of that. So, and what you're sharing, and Marius, you're like you're on fire, man. It's like a really important kind of stuff waking up there.
It feels so good, and it's
That's
like
how
I
you can tell, right? That
feel
the juice is there. It feels good.
it
Same thing for the fun you're having, Matthew.
just pours out.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, Marius is inspiring too. So, I I get something out of it too. Uh, if you know what I
Totally.
mean.
Yeah, I do.
You like share, and then you get ideas, and too many to execute, I guess. But
Yeah, but you one at a time. Keep sharing them though. But that's what you would
yeah,
Marius and I interacted a little bit on AI Surfer about showing your face. It's like, but you're showing up here, Marius. You're doing great. It's like it's fun and exciting. So thank you everybody for being here. I think we can wrap this up, right? It's really a wonderful opportunity to share, and thank you guys for being here, and thank you for watching. If you're watching some recording later, and we'll see you on the web. Feel free to contact me directly with any questions or whatever. I know I'll see you two on the Surfer.
Yeah.
oh yeah.